Hey guys, how you doing? Mark Graham here, and this is Big Balls Marketing. Hey guys, how you doing? Today I'm going to be talking about, it's been a couple of days since I've done a podcast, and what I want to do is I want to try and do one as often as possible, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I'm not going to commit to one every day right now because I've got so much crap going on. And there may be some of you out there going, well, you can't commit to that podcast every day, that video every day. No, not right now. I cannot. Whenever I do commit to something, you will know, and I will commit to it. I will be able to commit to it, and I'll do it. And so I don't want to sit here and lie to you and say, hey, I'm going to make a podcast every day and a video every day, and I'm going to post them all, and you're going to get all this great information and then not show up, okay? Because that really sucks. But today I'm going to talk about, I purchased the Grant Cardone book, the 10X Rule, and I just got to tell you, I really like the way this guy thinks. Excuse me. There are some things that I may take a little bit of issue with, but for the most part, I just think it's spot on for me. As far as my humble opinion. And there's a couple of things that really stood out, and I'm only about halfway through. I got the audio book. That's pretty much the way that I do a lot of books now. Because I'm on the road so much that what I do is I like to just plug it in and listen to it. And I can listen to it again and again and again. And sometimes, I'll play the same book for a week because I'm always picking up something. And especially because I'm in the car and I'm driving, obviously I'm trying to focus on the road when I'm not making a video, that is. Because sometimes I am making those videos. But seriously, I like to use that time as efficiently as possible. Typically I'm driving to the Metroplex, and from my home to where I typically will arrive in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it takes me about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. So that's a long time to do something, or a long time to do nothing. And so I try and make the best use of that time as possible. But getting back to Grant Cardone and the 10X rule, or the 10 times rule, however you want to say it. I think this is great. Tony Robbins always talks about, massive results come from massive action. And this is the specific thing that Grant is talking about in his book. He's talking about taking all this massive action. And doing something. Whenever you make a goal, make it 10 times as much, and do 10 times the work to get there. And, whatever it is you do, tackle it head on, whatever it is in life, tackle it head on 10 times the amount of force necessary and just bust through because, there's a couple of things that he's talking about that just ring true. And, if you're new to being an entrepreneur, if you're new to being in business, let me give you this warning right up front, okay? There are going to be days where it sucks. And the suck is so bad that you just want to freaking quit. Because especially when you have a series of those sucks. One event after another. And it's just a horrible, you're just like, what the hell did I do in my past life to deserve this crap? And, a lot of that is, it's just what it is. You're going to face adversity. And I don't care if you're doing some business opportunity or you're selling products, an e-commerce type product, or you're just selling products or you're selling a service. It does not matter what it is that you do. I'm telling you right now, you're going to face the fire. You're going to go through this. It's just part of it. And if you can't deal with that, then don't be an entrepreneur. And and a lot of people will come back and they'll be like, is this worth it? Is it worth it to you to do this? Blah 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 blah. For the most part, yes, it is. And for me, I know that I've never wanted to be average. And you know, as far as normal is concerned, I've always considered that to be average, which I also equate to mediocre. It's good enough. And that was one of the things that I've always talked about with my employees. When we did a job and they were working on something, if I ever heard that freaking term, oh, that's good enough, I just wanted to belt somebody across the mouth. And I'm like, bullshit. It's not good enough. If you're sitting there and you're saying it's good enough, you've already screwed up. Okay, and you're already on my shit list. Because, guys, it's not ever good enough. It can always be better. And you should always be striving to do your best. Now, I'm not going to sit here and preach to you and tell you that crap and tell you that I always do my best. I'm always 150%er. I need to be, and I need to set that bar at that level. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I don't, I don't screw around myself. I don't make mistakes. Obviously I do. Obviously there's a couple of things that I've done that I'm not super proud of. And there's, but when it comes to work, I try and do what I can do. But there have been times that I've fallen short, just like anyone else. So keeping that mentality, having that mindset, and keeping that thought up at the front, kind of as a standard, is a good thing. It's something that you want to do with your business, with everything that you do, and especially if you're going to go out here and you're going to start your own business and you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to do all of that stuff, then understand you're going to face adversity and you need to take responsibility for everything. Okay, that's something else that Grant was talking about, is being responsible for everything that happens to you in your life, good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, be prepared to say it's your fault. Take responsibility for it all. Because here's the thing with that thinking, that mindset. If it's somebody else's fault, if you're sitting there making BS excuses about why something isn't getting done, you give away all your control, all the ownership. And you cannot change anything when you do that. Okay? So take ownership of it all. And I know there's somebody out there, they're like, well, gosh, what if it's something that you're just walking outside one day and you're somebody hits you in a car, as you're crossing the street. Well, I should have left earlier. I should have left later, or I should have looked better. At the road, where take responsibility for it, and take responsibility for it all. If you have employees that are screwing up and they're messing up your business, well, guess what? You hired them. So take responsibility for it all. Okay? But there's something else that I thought was very interesting that I thought Grant was touched on. He didn't touch on it. I mean, he hammered on it. And that is success and the way that we think about success. And he talks about it as being an obligation, a responsibility, a duty. And I think that is I think that's very important, that you actually do look at it that way. And in that moment, it actually changed my mindset. And I realized right then and there, well, hell, I haven't been doing enough. I haven't been doing what I need to be doing. And I assure you, I'm going to work at changing that. But I think I do more than the average. But I sure as hell don't do 10 times as much. I don't think that I put forth 10 times the effort. Not on any scale that I would be using. So I think it's really interesting, the obligation, duty, and responsibility to be successful. That you owe it to yourself, that you owe it to your family, that you owe it to your spouse, your mother, your father, your everything. It's an obligation to become successful. And of course, what's the alternative? I mean, do we start a business so that we can go halfway? No, hell no. You know, anybody that does that is just stupid. I mean, we end up putting all this blood, sweat, and tears, money. We have time away from our families. Whatever it may be, whatever hurdles that we have to jump through, that's what we do. And then you're only going to go half the distance? You're only going to do part way? Yeah, that's stupid. Okay? You want to go out there and you want to be 100%er. You want to be 150%. You know, you want to do twice as much as anybody else, for sure. But 10 times as much, go for that. Put forth that much effort. Put forth that much energy into what it is that you're doing, and you're almost guaranteed success. And be persistent. It's another word I heard in this book. Be persistent. Okay? And you've heard me say this again and again and again. Persistent marketing. Be persistent with your advertising. Be persistent with your marketing. Do not stop. Don't ever, 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 ever quit. Push forward. And push hard. You know, too many people have this victim mentality. And I thought it was good how he worked in this title. He was always talking about having a title called Little Bitch. Stop being a little bitch. And it's absolutely the truth. You know, stop being a little puss. Stop being a little whiny ass, victim, snowflake, whatever you want to call it. And, oh gosh, everything always happens to me. I just, everything is so bad all the time. You know what? It's bad for some and it's great for others. And so much of that has to do with your mindset, your mentality, your focus. You know, if you're going to sit there and focus on the crap and focus on the negative, you're going to get a lot of it. But if you focus on the opportunities, you focus on the positive, you focus on what it is that you want, and you push forward towards those goals, you're going to be a lot more likely to achieve that than you are the crap. Okay? Once again, it's your fault. It's up to you. So, you know, I just wanted to put this out there. I really like the book so far. I think this is going to be it's going to be something. There's going to be a lot of principles in that book that I'm going to be able to implement in my business. And starting with the podcast, I mean, I just got home, 20 minutes ago, and I'm making this podcast, making this video. And for those of you that are listening to the podcast, I have a companion video that goes with this podcast. For those of you that are on YouTube and watching this, obviously you can go to my site, markgrantmarketing.com, and you can download the podcast. You may have to look it up, whatever. Not going to do it for you. You know, you can subscribe to the RSS feed, to our feed. You can get it that way. I'm about to start putting everything on Blueberry. I think there's, Blueberry Podcast. And so it's going to be available. And, pretty soon I'll also put it on iTunes. And I'm going to keep it Big Balls Marketing because I just like that. I like the irreverence to it, and I like the directness of it, the substance of it. I really like that. It gets people's attention, and it may offend some. And for those of you that are offended, see you later. I really don't care, okay? Because I'm looking for some killers out there, I'm looking for people that are really ready to do something with their life. And with that said, if you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe. If you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure that you go ahead and get the RSS feed, subscribe to the podcast. Eventually it's going to be on iTunes. It's going to be on everything else. Make sure that you subscribe so that you can catch every beautiful episode with me yakking away. So, guys, with that said, that's all I've got for tonight. Take care, have a great day, and remember, I will see you at the top. Take care.